DIY semi. If you have a truck, coming, please got it, but a truck ain't one. Yeah, let's go. I got 99 problems, but a truck ain't one.
We're live. How about somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me here? It's been a while. Make sure I got this set up right. Wow, what a day! What a last few months! What a night! Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because all you're going to hear over the next few days, weeks, whatever, is a bunch of hype and a bunch of emotional speaking. Whole bunch of emotions are coming out, and so let's talk about this logically. What it means for trucking, what it means for business, and try to leave out the hype. Something that I don't think anybody else is going to do. They're going to put their people have a way of inserting their hopes and dreams and thoughts and projecting it on that other person as to what that person's going to do when that person may have no intention. Like, oh, Trump's going to do this and going to do that. Well, he may have never said he was going to do that. Maybe that's what you want him to do, what you believe and what you hope, but don't project that on him, because that's not maybe true, right? So let's talk about what will most likely happen. What's the logic and what would come of this, and without all the hype and drama. So first off, thanks everybody for coming in. Whew, I don't know how long I'll do this, but this is a topic I like to talk about here with economics and stuff like that. So maybe we'll go for a while, but it's a busy day. So unless you've been under a rock, I guess you probably know that Trump won election, however you want to look at it, last night. He'll be president again, or will he? Let's make it through these next 2 months and get to inauguration, and then start counting our chickens. Let's not get too excited yet. I don't feel like probably the same people that didn't want him here in the first place probably don't want him there in January. So let's get through all that and start there. Okay. Now, some things can happen. People will respond on emotion to what happened last night. I'll talk a little bit about that. But let's talk about what would likely happen with the Trump presidency. What does it mean to trucking? What does it mean to the economy in general? I see the oil markets are already kind of responding here. In early trading, oil was down a good bit, so that's already a response. That's likely temporary. The market will straighten that out and prevail. Let me just take a look here at what the stock market thinks of this in early trading here. See what their reaction is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's down significantly pre-trading hours. Let me can't find it quickly here. I don't want to hold up the show. Looks like futures are up this morning, so that's good. Positive response. So to talk about what it's going to mean for trucking, first we have to realize what's happened and what's caused a lot of the problems we have. I'm a policy type person, a policy type voter. I don't care about their personality. I don't care who's a jerk. I don't care who sounds funny. I don't care who looks funny. I don't care who's weird. I care about policy. Okay. So that's kind of how we're going to address this today, because that's really, in the end, that's really all that matters. That's what makes things happen or not happen. Okay. For the last several years, policy is largely what caused a lot of things not to happen. Day one in 2021, the new president signed more than 20 executive orders in the first day in office against oil exploration, oil pipelines. Day one presidency signed us up for the Paris Climate Accords, which mandates by law that we take and pretty much implement the Green New Deal. That was a roundabout way of getting that done. So it's not my opinion. That's the fact of the matter of what happened. That kind of set the tone for the rest of the time. Okay. Other things that happened. Well, we had we all went through some massive inflation. Right now, there's a lot of things. There's a lot to that. I'm not going to blame that on any one person. We're just talking about what happened. Um, and then in response to that, they signed what's called the Inflation Reduction Act, which pretty much ensured more inflation. It was nothing of the sort. So inflation, interest rates, energy slash environmental policy, largely immigration. These are things that kind of got us to where towards all of that. Quite different, right? And we have something to measure it by because we already lived through a Trump administration. Okay, now you can say or think what you want. I don't care. I'm not here to judge you for that. But let's take a look at what policy changes would do to trucking. Now, when we look at it, say, will Trump save trucking? No, no. But hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, we should not want him to save trucking. President shouldn't have that kind of power. We should hope for this administration to set policies in place that help business in general, small business, big business. Policies friendly to business will change all businesses, including trucking. Right? You never, as much as we want, you don't want to be singled out, right? Because if you can be singled out for good, you can be singled out for bad. And let's go back to, pre all of this years ago, right? Remember when they were talking about the implementing the ELDs and all this and that? Um, they didn't stop that, right? So they're not going to go back and undo that. Oh, if Trump's president, we're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of that. No, you're once again projecting your hopes and dreams on a person that you know they never said they were going to do. So will it go back to that? Probably not. We didn't stop ELDs. But here's what we can do. Or here's what I think will probably happen that will help trucking substantially. Okay. People get all hyped. Oh, Trump's going to do this. He's going to save this, do that. Not quickly. These things don't happen quickly. Okay. You need policies in place, and then you need to just let them work. Okay. So number one, inflation and interest rates. Let's talk about that first because that's a major part of what's going on. Okay. I did a video. Geez, it's got to be almost 2 years now. It was a members only video. If you haven't watched it, go back, pay two or something, join as a member, watch that video where I talked about exactly what was going to happen over the course of the next 2 years. And by God, if it didn't say exactly what was going to happen. Okay. We talked about inflation and interest rates. Okay. Well, we got to fix inflation, right? Obviously, this Inflation Reduction Act was nothing of the sort. It was a joke. It caused more inflation. There's two main components in fixing inflation. Okay, interest rates and spending. There's not a good way out of this inflation thing because whichever way you go with it will either slow the economy more or cause more inflation. So we're in a very, very particular place here. Okay, and to think that one man can magically wave a wand and fix this, you're mistaken. You don't fully understand the situation that we're in. Okay, a lot of times their main weapon for fighting inflation is interest rates. By raising interest rates, you slow what's called the velocity of money. Money velocity slows down. You have less money chasing the same amount of goods. Okay, so it slows money down and will pull back inflation. Okay, that's why they raise interest rates. Okay, now to stimulate an economy, you will cut interest rates. Okay, so you would say, oh, interest rates are what, 6, 7% right now. The economy's stagnant. We need to cut interest rates. Well, by cutting interest rates, you're going to re-stimulate inflation because you're going to see the velocity of money. You're going to make those goods and services more expensive. Now, typically, in a functioning economy, you can do these things and they're effective. But here's the problem why they may not work so well or may not work at all this time is because in conjunction with adjusting interest rates to fight inflation, you have you have to scale back government spending. And they haven't done that. So they've raised interest rates to cut inflation, but they've also doubled, triple, quadrupled, infinitely expanded government spending and the money supply, okay? By giving billions, trillions, social programs, foreign countries, whatever. They're just money ain't